This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. But first, thank you to our sponsor today, MagicBandReaders.com. You've heard me talk about these several times, but you know, the crunch is on, folks. It's a holiday shopping season. You're running out of time. So the time has come probably to order these for the Disney Parks fan in your life. Because they probably, like me, have everything already they want from the actual parks. You need to find them something weird and unique they haven't found yet. These are probably the answer. So I've told you about the wait time signs. They have several different parks. They'll show the wait time signs for the wait times for that park in real time through Wi-Fi, and also they're future proof. So if new attractions, meet and greets, whatever is added in the future, they're going to pop up in there. So you never have to replace the device. It's always going to work for that park, which is very, very nice. So those are available. Then my personal favorite is this spaceship Earth. This is the Magic Band reader, right? So this works with the Magic Band, and it has, you see, it has the, look at that, it's the Epcot Center logo, my favorite. And this is my favorite because, if you can kill the lights, I like this one because you do the Magic Band here. It does the little noise like you've scanned your Magic Band at the park. Pull down that, if you take down the link for a second, we'll show them the link again. We can take down the link for a second, because I like when my desk is reflective, and I really like this. It's kind of like the fountain in front of Epcot, right? So this is, yeah, it's that Pinar Toprak orchestrated, whatever you want to call it, spectacle of light, points of light show on Spaceship Earth. It's the full show. It does it. And unlike the real one, none of your lights are going to be burnt out. So this is great. I think it's great to leave up all year. I think it's particularly cool at Christmas, though, because I think it looks pretty cool with all the Christmas lights we have up, too. Isn't that great? So you can get this. They have several other ones. They have the one that plays Wishes. There's the Magic Kingdom one that plays Wishes and Happily Ever After and all of that available. We'll throw that link back up for you. Not only do you need the link, though, you need to know the code, which is News15, and that saves you 15% on everything. That's whether it's the Magic Band readers, the wait time signs, whatever, anything and everything up there. So if someone in your family is a big Wishes or Happily Ever After fan, if they're a big Epcot fan like me, or, you know, they have all 6 U.S. Disney parks represented with those wait time signs. Check them out again at this link. And again, the discount code News15. There you go. Now let's get to the news for December 8th, 2023. I'm going to put Jake's Magic Band away. I'm going to hang it on Snow Pluto's candy cane tail. He has a candy cane tail. You can't see that usually at home, but he's a good boy. During the annual DVC Condo Association meeting, Disney shared new concept art for the DVC cabins coming to Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. The 350 new Disney Vacation Club cabins are replacing the current cabins, projected to be open in 2024. When Disney announced the cabins back in April of this year, they released the concept art you're looking at now and said the cabins would be built with an eye towards the environment, utilizing the footprint of the existing cabins and taking advantage of more energy-efficient features. DVC fan at the DVC show shared images from the meeting, which revealed the logo for the cabins as well as interior concept art. The hexagonal logo is green with the cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort in white sans serif font. Cabins is in the largest word, and a tree is in the center of the A. An orange circle at the top resembling the sun has a double tower silhouette within it. I think it's supposed to be a castle turret. I don't know. The redesigned cabins will still feature bunk beds. Concept art also shows a Murphy bed that can be pulled down over a couch. Here's more what Disney has to say about the cabins. Design concepts offer a fresh take on the current cabin experience and are inspired by the resort's idyllic setting, while also paying homage to the resort's unique culture and heritage through the magic of Disney storytelling. Each proposed standalone cabin offers spacious accommodations, sleeping up to 6 adults. It features a bedroom, a bathroom, living room, full kitchen, and a private patio. A select number of cabins are also expected to be dog-friendly. Are they not putting washer and dryer in here? I didn't see washer and dryer mentioned. That's a real shame. I mean, not that the laundry facilities at Fort are I've used them. They're nice. I have no problem with them, but I thought the hook would be having the washer and dryer, you know, in your unit, but maybe they're just not listing it. That's far from all of my problems. Oh, you're getting a rant today, and you're getting a big one. Number one, that logo is trash. That logo is the antithesis of Fort Wilderness. It in no way evokes Fort Wilderness. It instead evokes Cabela's, or maybe even Bass Pro Shop to me. That is a soulless, heartless garbage logo. It's terrible. I don't know. DVC, like, this is, you are not capturing anything of this, despite what your little press release or press statement says. That does not capture anything of what this resort is or what it's about. And in the same way the cabins don't, right? We saw the exterior, and the exterior wasn't great. And at that point, we were already pretty furious. I will tell you this, I am 10 times angrier today than I was the first time, because that interior is awful. It looks the same as everything else, and they have the gall to say in this announcement that it will feature things that evoke the resort. What? What that art on that wall, there is such a rich history at Fort Wilderness, and a rich history of Disney art, which was celebrated in the existing cabin, right? You had that beautiful concept art of the Fort Wilderness Railroad. It's a gorgeous piece. And then you had other pieces of Disney art. You had the Frontierland sort of city street in Disneyland concept art, stuff like that, which fit the setting very, very well, right? And that art certainly would not be out of place, or art of that style would not be out of place in a room like this. Instead, they've made a new piece of art that I think in no way evokes the feeling of anything at Fort Wilderness. Instead, it has this kind of generic camping motif to it, which is not what Fort is. Fort is kind of on the boundary of this, 70s, late 60s, early 70s campsite, campground. It's got a bit of that going on, like that American road trip of a simpler time. But the other aesthetic is definitely Disney Frontierland, right? Like, those are the two aesthetics that exist, and you're now eradicating one of those completely, right? The Frontierland aesthetic is gone, and I'm not even really sure you've captured this correctly. That art doesn't evoke that time period for me, despite trying to. And that interior is soulless. It is heartless and soulless, and this is, I think, in my 16 and a half years I have covered this company, this has to be one of the worst decisions they've ever made. That is made purely from a money standpoint and not at all from a guest satisfaction standpoint. Look, you could have certainly built modern accommodations that looked a little more rustic and a little bit more like an actual cabin. You're calling these cabins, I don't know in any universe where I would look at a structure that looks like that and call it a cabin. Maybe a shed. It kind of looks like a really nice gardening shed, but I don't know that I'd go in that direction. We have seen the systematic destruction of what Fort Wilderness is. We have so little, look, at Disney World in general, I understand the passage of time and the need to move on, and there are certainly cases where that is done tastefully. This is not that, right? Fort Wilderness, we have lost so much at Disney World that evokes anything of the heritage of the place we love, right? And Fort was one of those few places where you can go and it felt like the Disney World that was a generation ago. I mean, 2 generations ago at this point. It felt like 70s Disney World. It was like getting in a time machine, and you got to experience, for some of us, what we missed, right? And instead, now it's another thing that we've just erased history, and it won't even evoke any nostalgia of what it replaced. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? The cabins need to be replaced, but they didn't need to be holistically changed. We didn't need to throw away everything that worked about them. We just need to take what worked about them and modernize it, right? And that's what we have a fundamental inability to do in this company, is do that, right? We update these resorts. The Polynesian, we have not, very little of the several updates to the Polynesian that happened between the first Vacation Club Villas and today, very little of that actually celebrates or evokes what the Polynesian resort has been and what it's supposed to be, right? Like, we got Maui back, we have the statue in the middle, and that's great. And there's some art pieces they did, and they did a better job in that. What was that, 2014? They did a better job then. The more recent updates are, the Moana room stuff and what's going on with that tower, completely the opposite direction. And this, they mirror each other, right? This poly project and this cabin project mirror each other, where we're sort of desecrating the history of Walt Disney World has a very important place in American pop culture, and we can't pretend it's just, I hate when people say that, it's just a theme park. If it was just a theme park, I wouldn't be sitting here, right? You wouldn't be watching this if it was just a theme park. The reason a news show and dozens and dozens and dozens of popular YouTube channels and websites and all these things about Disney parks exist, the reason our whole fandom universe exists is because Disney parks and Disney World in particular are a special thing in American pop culture. They are historically relevant to the story of us as people, at least as far as pop culture is concerned. And so there's a history worth saving and worth preserving in some cases. And we're not doing that. Instead, we're eradicating it for the purposes of the Disney Vacation Club and their need to continue to sell a certain number of vacation club interests a year. And look, I don't dislike DVC. I think DVC has done plenty of good work. Some of my favorite resorts are vacation club resorts. I think Old Key West, they nailed it, man. I love Old Key West. It's fantastic. The cabins at Wilderness Lodge, Cascade Cabins, they nailed that, right? It's the right mix of modern and still feels right where it belongs. Like they got it, right? They built a thematic pool in the middle of that's themed to a quarry, but it's still modern. It can be done. I'm not asking for something. I know there'll be people fighting me in the comments. I'm not asking for something they haven't achieved before. I'm not asking for something I know they can't achieve. I've seen it. So that's what's frustrating. What's frustrating is to see them do it and then to see them a generation later be like, nah, they don't need to do that. People don't want theme in their theme park vacation. Who would want that? That doesn't make sense, right? But yeah, I mean, a lot of that earlier DVC stuff is great. I think there's a lot of great vacation club resorts. Alani is gorgeous, right? The Grand Californian, they did a great job. The newer stuff is iffy. The newer stuff is iffy. Like Riviera, I've said this a million times. That's my runaway railway where I know there's a bunch of people that like it and I just cannot understand what you see in it. And Riviera is that for me. Riviera is, again, heartless and soulless and just feels like it exists purely for the purpose of selling timeshare properties, not to make a guest happy or to be enjoyed or to be anything a Disney hotel is supposed to be. So I'm outraged by these interiors, and it's too late. This train, pun intended, I guess. This train has left the station. It is rolling, and we cannot stop it. These things are built, they're on their way, and it's just a matter of time, and it's really a shame. I wish someone in the company felt strongly about this the way we do. But let me know in the comments. Maybe you don't agree. Maybe you're like, I kind of think the cabins were beat up. I don't think they, and look, they're old. It's time to replace them. They're still charming and wonderful. And I think there's no reason that charm couldn't have been achieved with modern amenities. That's this company, the Walt Disney Company, invented robots, right? They invented the theme park. Walt Disney did all these things that people said he was crazy for doing. Oh, you're not going to have a carnival midway? You're only going to have one entrance and exit? You're going to spend money on placemaking and theme? They told him he was crazy, and instead he changed the industry, created a new industry, right? And so we've just decided all these years later that we just have to follow industry trends and not do anything differently. It makes no sense based on the legacy of the organization. Sticking with DVC, we talked about Polynesian. Well, Disney announced during the annual DVC Condominium Association meeting that the new tower at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort will indeed be a part of the same association as the Polynesian's current Disney Vacation Club offerings. This isn't a shock, but it's news nonetheless. There are several ramifications for this announcement for both existing DVC members who own at the Polynesian as well as members who are looking to purchase a membership in the new tower. The major effect of both sets of rooms existing in the same condominium association is that home resort priority will extend to both the existing studios and the bungalows, as well as the new tower rooms for both existing and new Polynesian DVC owners. That means current members who currently receive the home resort priority booking window will be able to to book rooms in the new tower at the 11-month mark. On the flip side, new members who purchase tower points will be able to book the studios and bungalows at the 11-month mark as well. This will benefit current owners in a way who often voice concerns that there are no one-bedroom or two-bedroom accommodations at the existing Polynesian DVC resort. This will also benefit new members who want to book bungalows, as the limited inventory of these unique accommodations tends to book up quickly, and having the home resort priority booking window is very important in getting them. It's also worth mentioning, I'm going to throw out devil's advocate here. It's also bad, right? So that's the DVC I own is Polynesian. And I don't really want people to take up my inventory, right? I want to be able to book those. I don't expect to get the 11-month window on the new building because I didn't buy the new building, right? I bought this. I bought the thing I liked, which were the existing rooms, which they did a good job of, by the way. Those rooms are great, the ones they did in 2014, and the bungalows, to further that point. You know, I bought that. I don't want this, but I don't need these people stealing my rooms, right? So that's the other side of it. So yeah, the benefit, I think the true benefit is the people buying the new one because they have, you know, they're able essentially to get into something that's been very hard to get into. So. But yeah, this arrangement is similar to how the new DVC rooms at Big Pine Key at the Grand Floridian were merged into existing condominium associations. So therefore, the new owners can stay at the old DVC building at the Grand and vice versa. It's very similar. We expected it, and that's the way it's going. With World Celebration Gardens finally open at Epcot after several years of construction, guests have checked out the area by day and night as well to experience it. Unfortunately, the lighting elements in the garden are already having problems. A couple nights ago, for at least a couple of hours, the lights were not interacting with Spaceship Earth. So the way it works is they have their own lighting package and do their own thing for a while. And then every so often when that Spaceship Earth light show kicks in, they then interact with it. The music's pumped into the World Celebration Gardens and the surrounding area and will interact. That wasn't working on, I believe that was Wednesday night, they were having problems. And then on Thursday night, we noticed lights were already not working at all. So lights were the wrong colors, lights were off in the big, you know, Epcot logo in the ground, things like that. So they're having some issues here, which, you know, I saw a Twitter comment where someone said, you know, I hate when they rush things. And then someone underneath was like, rush this, they've been working on it forever. And, you know, both are fair, right? And, you know, they rushed to open it. They set a deadline like it's got to open this year. And they opened it, and maybe it's, you know, maybe they've got some bugs to work out. For sure, it's a new thing. They'll figure it out. But at the same time, it did take a long time. And so, yeah, I mean, look, they did this project no favors by delaying it as long as they did. Because the longer the construction took, the bigger the guest expectations were. And we had this discussion with Moana on the podcast. And I said Moana turned out so good that it wasn't even a thought anymore, right? But when the project is maybe not as strong as, let's say, something that's a water play area that kind of is an attraction, when it's kind of just an area to walk around in, you know, expectations were set high for something that probably could not deliver on said expectations because it just wasn't enough of a thing to meet an expectation. So I hope they figure it out. I think it looks great at night. You know, I'm not going to bore you here. We have an honest review out where I break down that whole area, and as well Luminous. You can go check that out. And yeah, but they're having some issues at the moment. Disney Springs' newest restaurant is Eat by Maneet Chauhan, and it has officially opened at Walt Disney World. And we were there during its opening week to check out the space and the food. And Eric and I actually did an exhaustive review, which you can watch right here on the channel. I think it is one of the most positive reviews we've ever done of any restaurant at Disney World. So if it at all interests you, check it out. It got a glowing review, and man, it just hit after hit. But there were some things that were, I don't know. Check out the review if you're interested. You can also read the review if you prefer at WDWNT.com. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT and their team will design your next magical vacation like they've done for me, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to the Disney Cruise Line. They, of course, you know, they just booked our San Diego trip we just went on, our Alaska cruise we did in August. They've booked my maiden voyage on the Disney Treasure for next year, and they'll do it for you too. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free, so book today. Disneyland Resort has a new offer for Disney Visa card members to save up to 25% on a 4-night stay or longer at resort hotels in early 2024. Guests can book with the offer between now and March 4th for stays from January 15th through March 7th. Travel must be completed by March 8th. The offer is valid on standard and premium rooms at the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, the Disneyland Hotel, and the villas at the Disneyland Hotel. Do note the PIXAR Place Hotel, which officially opens in January, is not included. Yeah, why would you include that? Because you know everybody's going to book it that first week or two. You know, why do that? Of course, if you want to book that offer, Be Our Guest Vacation, the best way to go. Let them do the work for you. Make it their problem, like I always say. Speaking of that transformation of Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel into the PIXAR Place Hotel, that project is making progress as a new Disney Vacation Club sales area and a sign for the new Sketchpad Cafe have made their way to the hotel. We also saw some changes made to the lobby at the resort as it inches towards that opening on January 30th. Curtains that previously blocked the DVC area have been taken down. The area has the same ceiling and lighting that can be found throughout the rest of the lobby, and the walls of the lobby are covered in sketches of iconic Pixar characters. The red section features Edna Mode of The Incredibles and Mei Lee in her red panda form from Turning Red. Over at the Sketchpad Cafe, the sign for the lobby's grab-and-go coffee shop has gone up. Here, guests will find assorted pastries, coffee, and tea. The seating area for the Sketchpad Cafe features a wall full of sketches of more Pixar characters, including Wall-E, Lightning McQueen from Cars, and Sully from Monsters, Inc. The Sketchpad Cafe is one of 3 new dining options opening at the hotel. Great Maple, the hotel's signature restaurant, opened on November 15th. You, of course, can watch our reviews of the Great Maple right here on our YouTube channel. The third option, Small Bites, will be a casual rooftop pool bar. It does not have a set opening date. We have our first audio preview of the Disney Electrical Sky Parade and its soundtrack ahead of the drone show's premiere at Disneyland Paris on January 8th. The new drone show is inspired by the Main Street Electrical Parade, and the music will sound familiar to fans of the classic offering. You can listen to the music in this excerpt from DLP Report on Twitter, or X, whatever it's called. The music is basically lifted directly from the original parade. It is a new arrangement, though. Of course, the parade debuted back in 1972 at Disneyland and 1977 at Walt Disney World, and even performed at Disneyland Paris at one point, so they'll certainly be nostalgic for it as well. Disney Electrical Sky Parade is part of the Disney Symphony of Colors, a celebration that will also include new character costumes and the daytime show A Million Splashes of Color, which will debut on February 10th. Disneyland Paris stated that the Disney Electrical Sky Parade will have synchronized drones, video projections, lights, and fountains across Sleeping Beauty Castle, transforming the sky into a palette of colors thanks to the vibrant illuminations above the castle. The novelty will pay dazzling tribute to the Main Street Electrical Parade, which ran in Paris from 1992's opening day until March of 2003. Roughly 500 drones will be utilized for the Disney Electrical Sky Parade, taking the shape of various icons from the parade, including Mickey Mouse and his friend's dazzling train, Elliot the adorable dragon, and Cinderella's carriage. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to see this. Paris Entertainment Team always just destroys it. They're the best. So this is very exciting. AVIS will begin sponsoring AUTOPIA in Disneyland Paris beginning on December 18, 2023, after becoming the official rental car partner of Disneyland Paris earlier in the year. With the sponsorship, AUTOPIA will receive some updates infused with Disney magic and nods to the AVIS brand. Disneyland Paris stated that the AUTOPIA presented by AVIS promises guests an adventure with new scenic elements designed by Walt Disney Imagineering. The additions will incorporate AVIS's core values within the storyline and origins of the iconic attraction. AVIS signage has been added to the attraction, and the photo op car in front of Autopia has been painted the signature red of AVIS as well. Guests who ride Autopia will receive a new commemorative driver's license featuring a red car and the AVIS logo as well. The new attraction poster will be displayed in Disneyland Park under the Main Street USA train station and on the platform of the Discoveryland station as well. And on the opening day of December 18th, the first 100 guests at the Autopia will receive a print of the attraction poster. Not me trying to figure out if I can get to Paris on December 18th to rope drop the Autopia for a poster. That's definitely not a thing I'm doing. Tokyo Disney Resort has announced the second installment of Disney Story Beyond, a haunted mansion experience that expands on the attraction's backstory. This second installment, titled Entrusted Fate, will take place from February 7th to April 30th of 2024, but the previews of the story will be shared on the Tokyo Disney Resort website before then. In 2023, guests could participate in Disney Story Beyond by purchasing a mystery-solving guide and going on a scavenger hunt throughout the park. An AR photo op and exclusive merchandise was also available. Judging by the preview image, this next iteration will also include merchandise as well as specialty drinks. The teaser video prominently features a raven and the characters of Xavier and ZJ, who work at the Haunted Mansion. You can watch the teaser for Entrusted Fate on our website. This is interesting. They did this last year, and it was really wacky and cool. Of course, as English speakers, we really didn't get to do it because you kind of had to speak Japanese to be able to do it. The merchandise was unbelievable. I got a bunch of that stuff. But this was a really cool idea, this Haunted Mansion scavenger hunt, and there was a big interactive element to it as well. It's cool that this is coming back. It's also cool that there's different characters in it this year. So there's some mansion characters that weren't featured last year. And the art style is all anime. So Haunted Mansion characters in an all-new art style. It's super cool. So I noticed there's the Mark Davis's, one of his changing portraits, the lady who turns into a cat on the sofa. There's a couple new characters, and it's all very, very cool, and I can't wait to see this. Shanghai Disney Resort shared a new video about the puppet characters that will appear in the windows of their new Zootopia land. The experience is called Disney Zootopia Comes Alive and will happen all day long in Zootopia. The experience was first shown actually at the D23 Expo a couple years ago. And then they showed us a bit of a preview back in September, and as well in the cast member fashion show too. But other characters who will appear include Judy Hopps' parents, Yax the Yak, Duke Weaselton, Frou Frou's father, Mr. Big, and a polar bear bodyguard, as well as an elephant, or at least just his trunk. Here's how Shanghai Disney describes Disney Zootopia Comes Alive. Quote, Zootopia's groundbreaking new show will have its residents come to life in the windows of Zootopia Park apartments in the metropolis, leaning out the windows to chat and interact with each other, just like the real-life neighborhood. This ambitious take on Disney storytelling is a living embodiment of the land. Let's take a closer look at how it all came together. You can watch the video on our website. As Disney Live Entertainment creative director Jeff Conover alludes to in the video, the experience is reminiscent of the Muppets present great moments in American history, which ran at the Magic Kingdom from 2016 to 2019. However, this will be a free-flowing offering with lots of opportunities to change for different seasons, events, and so on. Zootopia, of course, recently was added to the Shanghai Disney Resort map ahead of its grand opening on December 20th. We also saw a video of the ride. We saw previews of the merchandise. We're getting very close to the opening of the world's first Zootopia land. I like this puppet thing. I think it feels different and interesting and fun, and it brings the land to life, which is a thing we have a big problem with, especially at Walt Disney World, right? We never want to spend money on entertainment, so a lot of spaces just feel kind of dead. And like the Muppet thing, right? We had it was phenomenal, it was beloved, and after 3 years, we had stomached all the budget we could spend on something that people legitimately loved, and we took it away, right? And so it's nice to see something similar happening. But Disney, come on, bring back Muppets, bring back Streetmosphere, bring back the Grand Floridian Society Orchestra, bring back these things that bring the place to life. You make more than enough money. There's no reason these things shouldn't exist. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, watch us record the WDWNT podcast live and interact with us, and much, much more. A special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make the show happen every week. And a reminder, the Zoom with Tom is next week for our Club 33 level and up in WIGS. You get to have a Zoom with me on the night of the 12th. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Now I know I'm here to stay, so here's a part of my body, a few inches above my heart.
Something special, ghoul.
It's my head in a box. It's my head in a box, yeah, yeah.
But we go to Morocco, and she goes, oh, it feels so authentic. how do you know authentic Morocco? No, wait, it gets better. She goes, it does. She goes, and she looks at the person working there, and she goes, I feel like I could get robbed at any minute. Because, you know, it's like a, thank you. This is so that I'm like, she's telling this to people. Look at this lamp. Is this human skin? Ma, what do you think Morocco is?
Prototype Community College is the first choice for students who want to learn how to create the city of the future. A place where raccoons and trees, ice queens and rat chefs, normal people from around the 11 known countries of the world all can live in harmony.
How high will he go? Oh boy. All right, right about here, I know he starts to get a little nervous. He's like, you didn't do this to me, Elena, did you?